Wonderful to enjoy Tommy Hill's humour once again live on air here at British Eurosport. I've actually got alongside me the 3 times British Superbike champion, Mr. Neil Mackenzie, who is very much an ambassador for the Ducatis. And in these rather filthy conditions, we're looking forward to the second of the Ducati TriOptions Cup races of the weekend. And Neil's brought me the sad news that what happened to his little lad Taz Mackenzie in the last race was that his visor misted up when he's managed to plug his way through to 7th place and was looking for the top 6.
Yeah, unfortunately for Taz, certainly had a big crash early in the weekend and missed most of practice. So for him to come from 25th to all up to fighting for the top 6 or 7 was brilliant. We were quite excited, and then he started dropping back, came in the pit lane, steamed up visor. That was that. So, but he's in one piece. We'll go to the next one and try and do the business at Donington.
I would have thought a lad with a father with the amount of experience you've got would never have a problem with a misted up visor, dear boy. I would have thought you'd sorted that out for him.
Yeah, his brother had problems earlier in the weekend as well, so yeah, it won't happen again for sure. We're all a bit disappointed, but there you go. It's just one of these things.
That's a classic racers, a top racers observation. It won't happen again.
More fairy liquid in the paddock, fairy liquid inside your visor never fails.
These are the Ducati TriOptions boys who gave us a brilliant race yesterday afternoon in which Leon Morris defeated his championship rival Dennis Hobbs by 0.2 of a second, with just a further half-second back Marty Nutt, the reigning champion, in a properly exciting and dramatic race. Dennis Hobbs will start on the front row of the grid alongside Marty Nutt and Leon Morris. It's not, incidentally, Dennis now lives up near Knockhill, where he works in Scotland. And it's not a bank holiday in Scotland today, so Gemma, his wife, and Daisy, his little daughter, aren't here, which is very unusual because Daisy's starting school today. So Daisy and your mate Lily, we hope you enjoy your first day at school.
Yeah, big friends of the Hobbs family, and lovely family are too. Gemma also works at Knockhill. They had a big weekend with the British Touring Car Championship up there, so she was flat out all weekend organising things there, and as you said, school today.
And Dennis was allowed out to race. He's done his best with his weight. He's got himself down to about 12 stone, but Leon Morris, he says, weighs about 8 stone dripping wet, so that tends to be the difference sometimes between them.
There's lots of weight issues in this paddock. We've got to be really careful here, because Dennis says, everyone says it's big Dennis Hobbs. He says, I'm not big by any means. And of course the other one is Alistair Fagan, because we've got to mention his weight. He's lost lots of weight. His mum said he's incredibly thin and a fit, lean fighting machine. So Alistair is on it, and I'm sure he'll go well in these conditions today.
He finished 6th yesterday. Leon Morris won it from Hobbs, Nutt, Jonathan Railton, Darren Fry and Alistair Fagan, with Rob Guyver in 7th. These are the championship standings. Leon Morris extended that lead to 26 points with that victory over Dennis Hobbs. Martin Nutt is 3rd, Sean Neary 4th. Rob Guyver, after that luckless DNF at Alton Park with a blown motor, is in 5th place ahead of Darren Fry. Jonathan Railton on the 848, riding strongly here this weekend, ahead of Alistair Brown, Alistair Fagan and Dave Ferns. These are the rest of the guys rounding out the top 20. Fowler, Cheetham, Holden, Humphreys and the rest. And this is how the grid looks. Leon Morris, fastest lap yesterday while winning the race, puts himself on pole position ahead of the reigning champion. There he is, number 1, Marty Nutt from Castle Rock in Northern Ireland on the Ducati Coventry JHP bike. Dennis Hobbs is the 3rd man on the front row on the P&H Motorcycles Carl Cox Motorsport machine, and then Jonathan Railton's 848 heads up row 2 from Rob Guyver's Highside racing team and Darren Fry. The 3rd row is Aaron Brown. Did I call him Alistair earlier? I beg your pardon, Aaron. Aaron Brown, Dave Ferns and Alistair Fagan. And the 4th row, Dan Fowler, Nicky Wilson and Sean Neary. So this is the Ducati TriOptions Cup. This is race 2 of the weekend for them. And this is little Leon Morris, who just keeps through, comes from just near Thruxton, and just keeps on winning. Obviously, they've got full wet tyres on. What else would you put on?
Yeah, all on full wets. They've got 2 option dries or wets. They're on wets. Leon has put his lull in performance over the last few races down to his new baby son being born, Bo, about 7 weeks ago. So he says he's back now. He's getting sleep at night. He's back on form and he's ready to do a bit more winning. So he's kicked that off well yesterday with a victory.
And remember, Carl Crutchlow's dad, Deck, is at the back of the grid. He's in 22nd place, riding number 149.
Back left with a white helmet on there.
A young fella, only 68 years old, wonderful man. Deck out to enjoy himself here. Leon Morris, number 2, will be looking for a swift start. So too will teammate number 25, Dennis Hobbs. It was so vital for Hobbs to try and get himself off the line ahead of Leon Morris. And if he couldn't do that, to try and make a move early on, which he's attempting to do. And Marty Nutt running there in 3rd place. Someone's grass tracking already, and that's pretty early to see. I think it's number 17 who's out there. Tom. Is that Tom? Oh, it's number 17, sorry, Carl Stevens. It's Carl Stevens, it's
Laura's brother.
Laura's brother, and he's been getting quicker because he was in the points. He got a 14th place yesterday, so he'll have a bit of work to do now as they head out into the country through the drizzle.
He did get back on the track before Dick Crutchlow caught him. You saw Dick Crutchlow in the background, Dick being nice and steady off the line. His first race for, I think, 35 years or something, and of course his first wet race for the same amount of time.
Dropping down the hill then, this towards the gooseneck.
And there goes Dick on the black legs away. I mean, he's looking good, and doesn't he look like Cal Crutchlow? I think he looks like Cal on the back. Fantastic. I caught him in a mini wheelie bin this morning doing something. His times are hard. Gosh knows what he was doing in there, but I've got some pictures of him for Twitter later.
And the front 3 have already broken clear halfway around the first lap. These are the guys who dominated the race yesterday and took the battle right to the flag. There is Marty Nutt, former British super sport performer, of course, for many years. Runs the Nut.com travel agency with his dad Billy, who will be jumping up and down, of course, on the pit wall, getting agitated like he always does when his son's out on track. The leader, though, Leon Morris, Dennis Hobbs. These are the 2 guys separated by 26 points at the top of the table. And Dennis, I'll try not to call him Big Dennis. Dennis the Menace needs to do something to overturn this current run of race wins of Leon Morris's.
And these 3 had identical pace yesterday, but they all said it was really difficult to pass around. He was very narrow at Cadwell Park, 1/3 of the width of some of the racetracks we go to. But Leon, he was very impressive. He led from the front and put the fastest lap in on the last lap, so he was very dominant and did a great job there on the GHP motorcycles.
So difficult for Hobbs to get the drive out of some of these turns, just to get himself into a position to attack on the brakes, Neil. The for example, of the Park Straight.
That's right. But being bigger and stronger, you've got more leverage. You can muscle these bikes round a bit more, and not so much in wet conditions. But there's pros and cons of being bigger or smaller on a motorcycle.
We've got a 5-rider dice going on for 5th place. Rob Guyver's running strongly in 4th, and then this is it's Jonathan Railton, Alistair Fagan, Darren Fry, and Brown and Neary are all involved in this battle going on here for 5th place. In fact, there's more than that of them. They're right there with Dave Ferns, Mark Cheetham, Ollie Mann, right down to about 12th place, tied together in that bunch. Much
better start for Guyver. He made a disastrous start yesterday. Rob Guyver is every day of the week a challenger for the podium or a championship contender. Unfortunately, had a breakdown at the last round at Open Park while in the front bunch, but got a terrible start yesterday, so it wasn't happening. But yeah, in much better shape today. But you can see the gap between 3rd and 4th already.
There's Rob Guyver going through. And look at this, Jonathan Railton leading this battle. Darren Fry is in there.
And Jonathan Railton on the first of the 848s, he had a great ride yesterday, did 4th position, easily the first of the 848s, and looking great on that Bose plumbing machine. There he is there, number 40.
But the man who's got past him is number 44, Fagan, the flying journo. He's now through to 5th place. So Alistair, well, he's not only trimmed himself down, but he's beginning to turn in the results as well. So the Bath-based Alistair Fagan on the P&H Motorcycles Fast Bikes Ducati, he being a Fast Bikes journo, is running in 5th place.
He certainly is. He's getting traction from somewhere. If it's not his weight anymore, then he must have a really good soft suspension setup, or maybe he's got his traction control dialed in there. But yeah, great ride for him.
This is the rest. This is Railton, Fry, Neary, Brown, Ferns, all nailed together. The only one you can distinctly see, at least my eyesight can, is number 7, Dave Ferns. Thanks for that clear white number 7, Dave.
Well, Sean Neary stands out on the My Mate machine because he's a bright orange man there. He's been tangled there. He's in the middle of that bunch.
That's right.
Went down on the first lap yesterday, so he didn't get a finish. But he's a rostrum contender also when everything's right.
Oh, and someone rode round the outside of him into the gooseneck. That was a brave move.
Yeah, cheeky little move there, and not an easy place to pass.
I think that might have been number 81, Aaron Brown. Someone got right round the outside of him and slung it down into. I've never seen anyone overtake round the outside down the gooseneck.
Yeah, Aaron having a good run there. He's also on a Panigale, and yeah, not had the best of luck this season. A little bit like Sean Neary. He's had a few technical problems and a few issues, but when everything's right, they're certainly in the hunt. And these three locked together just like yesterday's race.
Dennis Hobbs managing to close it up on the tricky stuff, but as soon as they get down onto the flat stuff, the flyweight Leon Morris just begins to pull away a little bit and leaves Dennis unable to get into a position to launch on a stop. But he keeps trying round the outside in Coppice to try and see if he can get inside and squeeze through at Charlie's.
And we haven't got a lot of spots of rain on our cameras, so although there's a little bit of spray coming from the bikes, the track will be drying out a little bit, although it's hazy coming down that back Park Straight and then into Park Corner, which is one of the slowest corners on the track.
Leon Morris, Dennis Hobbs, Marty Nutt through the mists of time, dropping down into Park Curve. This is why I particularly asked for a kind of low-down camera out there, so we could actually see what was going on.
It's up in the clouds there, that one.
This is a really in wet clouds. This is a really lovely, dramatic part of the track out there. This was the extension that was built by Charles Wilkinson. He acquired land in 1961 and constructed this extension to Cadwell Park in 1962. Cadwell Park, 80 years old this year. Fantastic venue. Jonathan Rowson's been squeezed back a bit downfield now by the more powerful machines around him. Leon Morris still leads it. There he is. And this says that group goes through. Then these are the guys fighting for the lead. Rob Guyver's pretty much isolated on his own, 7.5 seconds behind them. And then Alistair Fagan in 5th place. And then that battle for 6th. Oh, Leon Morris getting a bit offline through Hall Bends, but it doesn't allow Hobbs any opportunity to attack.
Yeah, got a bit of a concertina effect here. Marty Nutt actually set the fastest lap on that last lap, so he certainly hasn't lost touch, and he's able to close the gap when he wants.
Crossing the line then, this is the battle for the lead. Number 2, Leon Morris. In 2nd place, number 25, Dennis Hobbs. And in 3rd place, the reigning champion, Marty Nutt. Brilliant move by Dennis Hobbs. Swings it round the outside through Coppice. He's been looking at that possibility of getting himself onto the inside line through Charlie's. Now he needs a good drive down the park back straight. He's got to try and hold the flyweight Leon Morris behind him, but Morris swoops round straight away. Dennis has got to be frustrated. No, he isn't. He's deep and late on the brakes. Morris can't match that. And Hobbs bravely takes advantage. A great move going through Coppice and into Charlie's, and it's given Marty Nutt a little bit of inspiration. He's now taking a look at Leon Morris. So all three of them now almost side by side, dropping down the sharp hill now through the gooseneck down to Mansfield. This is a really, really steep descent. Marty thinking he might be able to try something up the inside, but Leon going for that narrow line once again. And Dennis Hobbs finally manages to snatch the advantage. Now he's got to keep a cool head and keep him. Well, he's got the experience, hasn't he, Neil? He's been racing long enough.
He certainly has. And you're right, he did practice that move a couple of times. He had a look, he knew what he wanted to do. And Leon Morris, remember, has been leading from lap 1, so he's been the guy in the front sussing out the track conditions. Now Dennis is the man, and Leon's not able to go with them at the moment. Marty Nutt's getting frustrated. He set another fastest lap on that last lap, so he's certainly got the pace of Hobbs, but his problem is trying to get past Leon Morris.
So Leon Morris riding number 2. The 27-year-old from Stockbridge, the welder and fabricator, who's a former champion, of course. He did win this championship a couple of years ago. Takes a quick glance over his shoulder to see where Marty Nutt is, then gets his head down. Dennis Hobbs, though, had sufficient of an advantage to drive off down the straight and hold on to that position. There's Alistair Fagan. He's running in 5th place. Then the rest of them. Look at this. It's the MyMate.com bike of Sean Neary that's pushed through past Aaron Brown into 6th place. So Neary, number 10, is in 6th place, ahead of number 3, Darren Fry. Then number 7, Dave Ferns. Number 21, Mark Cheetham. Those two guys, Ferns and Cheetham, on the 848s, Neil.
That's right, and lovely bikes there. I mean, the 899 Panigale is a more modern machine. It's different chassis, different engine, but the 848s are very capable, and many of the racetracks, in fact, all the racetracks at the moment, the 848s still have the lap record.
Dec Crutchlow is going round in 19th place. He's ahead of young Carl Stevens. As we watch number 7 on the brakes, Dave Ferns claw his way past Darren Fry, number 3.
And yeah, Aaron Brown, he's doing a great job there. Number 81 up to 5th position. Alistair Fagan dropped back a bit, but Sean Neary seems to got the better of his bunch, just finding his feet, finding his grip. Marty Nutt through to 2nd. He's right in the back of...
and he's now threatening Dennis Hobbs. Oh, what a move by Marty Nutt. He gets terrific drive over the mountaintop, and they may be good mates off the track, but he is feeling like he's the fastest man out there at the moment, and he's relegated Hobbsy to second.
That was a great pass. Not easy to pass there into Hall Bends, but Marty's certainly confident. He's never going to do anything risky, never going to do anything dangerous, just total confidence.
So, Happy Dad. Well, two Happy Dads lead the way now, but it's Marty Nutt at the front, number 1, ahead of Dennis Hobbs, number 25. And, of course, there are 3 Happy Dads, I beg your pardon, with Leon Morris's baby boy having been born a few weeks back. The 3 of them fencing for the 25 points that they could all do with grabbing here at Cadwell Park. This is the second Ducati TriOptions race of the weekend.
As far as the championship goes, Dennis will be desperate to put himself number 1 Marty Nutt between him and teammate Leon Morris, because at the moment he only takes 4 points out of Leon Morris, but if he can put Marty between them, then the gap is 9 points.
And Dennis, then, he said he did promise me he wouldn't do anything stupid when we were having a chat a little earlier in the afternoon, but he is rather keen to finally kind of reverse a decision against Leon Morris. And as you say, Neil, to actually be able to put someone between the 2 of them would be brilliant. But Marty doesn't look to me like he's very keen on surrendering this lead. He's set the fastest lap on the last lap of the race, 1:41.23.
Marty certainly looks the most confident. He seems to have good traction. His bike's not moving around at all on the brakes, with drive grip, and this is where he was so strong on that last lap. He's able to catch Dennis and pass him as they come over the top of the mountain to Hall Bends. You can see again he's taken half a bike length or a bike length out of him coming through that section.
Marty Nutt, number 1, who was quite an exciting talent when he first appeared on the scene. He was the Irish 400cc and 600cc champion in his first year of racing in 1998.
Well, Dennis getting tucked in there as come out of Barn Corner looking for the slipstream at pretty much identical machines, these 899 Panigales. Dennis having a look down the inside. Maybe not there, Dennis.
Oh, he's keen to get that lead back. And now as they swerve through Charlie's and uphill, it'll be a lot of the drive down here. And they're catching it back, Margaret.
No, it's Deck Crutchlow, so... No, it's not. Oh, apologies.
It's number 4, Schutz.
Yeah, it's Nadia Schutz, the female Dutch rider, who is confident she's going to... Nadia Schutz, she's confident when we get to Aston that she's beyond for a podium, but she's struggling a bit today in these wet conditions at Cadwell.
As they swoop round out in the country, and that unfortunately is the final lap. This is the final lap, so Dennis has got to pull something out now, and it's not going to be easy between this point and the finishing line, with Marty looking so confident at the front.
He's good on the brakes, Dennis. I've been watching him catch Marty on the brakes down the hill into Mansfield. He's gone for it. I hope he can turn it in and keep that front Pirelli planted.
Oh, no,
not
he
quite
can't.
Close enough. He's got a few more opportunities, but it's going to be tight.
Oh, and this is Dennis Hobbs throwing caution to the winds.
Marty's getting defensive at the bottom of the mountain.
Oh, very defensive. And Marty is good at the top of the mountain. That's where he actually grabbed the lead from Dennis a couple of laps ago. So Dennis can't do anything about it there. But through Hall Bend, oh, he's got to get close enough to make a move, perhaps at the hairpin. And at the moment, he's not close enough. Oh, he's slithering over the hilltop there. Marty riding a very strong defensive line as the 2 Ducati slither around the hairpin down to Barn Corner, and it's all down to the drive to the line. Dennis getting as much body weight out as he can, but it's Marty Nutt who's going to take victory against a furious Dennis Hobbs, a frustrated Dennis Hobbs. Leon Morris crosses the line in 3rd place, but nonetheless Dennis has clawed 4 points back in the championship against his great rival. Meanwhile, number 81, Aaron Brown. Has Aaron Brown got the better of Alistair Fagan?
Yeah, I think he has. Still
so
close, but yeah.
Good ride by Aaron Brown then. He crosses the line in 5th place ahead of Alistair Fagan. And then this lot. And it's Dave Ferns, number 7, the leading 848, ahead of Sean Neary, Darren Fry and Mark Cheetham. That's the top 10, with Jonathan Railton recovering to 11th place ahead of Ollie Mann. Oh, that was an entertaining race.
It certainly was. You could see the determination in Dennis Hobbs on that last lap. He was strong in the brake. He was going to have a go pretty much anywhere. He was close enough, but
I think he was very unfortunate that they came across the Dutch lady just at that point when he wanted the drive onto the back straight, perhaps.
Yes, that's always part of racing, but yeah, it cost him a few tenths there and meant that he wasn't as close as he could have been to Marty.
I think Deck Crutchlow might have just slipped out of the top 20 there on his final lap as Marty Nutt enjoys the plaudits of a crowd after an excellent race performance. And of course the defending champion, well, he's not completely out of things yet, so he'd be looking to try and improve things. It's his first win of the year. He'd had 1 second place, 3 thirds, a couple of 3 fourths, but that was his first win.
Whatever you're driving, when you sell it, you want a great price. We want anycar.com. Enter your reg number and details for your valuation.
Look, I'll ask him. Are you the house whisperer?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Can you ask our house what insurance would make it happy?
Of course.
Easy, big fella.
For the cover your home deserves, visit Go Compare.
Can people tell the difference between Walker's sizzling steak fajita flavour and the real thing? Oh. Oh. Oh.
This is definitely the crisp.
Try all 6 Do Us a Flavour finalists and vote for your favourite.
They never got any real respect until they pretended to be cops.
People actually think we're cops.
That was awesome.
But what started as a game...
This one over here is hot. Over.
...is about to get real.
They're not LAPD, maybe a special unit.
Yeah, we're black ops, dude.
Let's be cops.
At Wickes, there's 3 for 2 on Dulux paint to help you plan big and pay small. Hurry, offer ends soon. Wickes.
Welcome back to Cadwell Park, the Ducati TriOptions Cup, race 2 of the weekend. Marty Nutt takes a splendid win, his first of the season, from Dennis Hobbs and championship leader Leon Morris. Rob Guyver rode a lonely race to third with Aaron Brown grabbing Alistair Fagan's 5th place on the final lap. Dave Fearns the leading 8.48 ahead of Sean Neary, Darren Fry and Mark Cheetham. 11th went to Jonathan Railton, 12th to Ollie Mann, and 21st place, just off your screen there, went to Carl Crutchlow's dad, Deck, who set his fastest lap on his last lap, 1:50.26. Pretty good for a 68-year-old. Well done, Deck. The championship standings end up looking like this. A reduced 22-point gap at the top between Leon Morris and Dennis Hobbs. And not out of it yet, Marty Nutt in 3rd place overall. Rob Guyver is 4th, 2 points ahead of Sean Neary, moves back into 4th place in the championship after his luckless DNF at Oulton Park. Darren Fry is 6th, just 6 points ahead of Jonathan Railton, with Aaron Brown, Alistair Fagan and Dave Fearns in that top 10. Mark Cheetham in 11th, ahead of Dan Fowler, Ross Humphreys, Nicky Wilson and Ricky Holden.
And 3rd place in that race, Leon Morris. Leon, I'm sure you would have liked to have been challenging those 2 boys at the front at the end there, but even just looking at your visor, I can just see how difficult the conditions were for you.
Yeah, you know, the visor steamed a bit, but that's one of them things. Yeah, I would have liked to challenge. I really like the wet. We won the first few wet races of the year we had, but this time in the championship, we need to finish races and we need to be fast when we can be. Yesterday I won. But in conditions like this, I need to be smart. We're for one reason only, and that's to win the championship for myself and the P&H Motorcycles Carl Cox's team. And that is exactly what you need to do to win a championship, not do anything too silly. And you know, like I say, we'll be fast when we can. But in conditions like this, it's a bit of an iffy one. So I'll take that. I'm really pleased.
Well done, Leon. Winning a 3rd. It's a good weekend's work, isn't it? Well done.
Cheers.
And they're trying his best right to the end. There was Dennis Hobbs. Dennis, you were slipping and sliding around everywhere you could there to try and nick it.
Yeah, I thought about 3 laps to go, I started getting a bit of misting, so I was having to look in a different spot in my visor, but that's not an excuse. Marty did me at the end there. I had a go at Mansfield and lost the drive back, but wasn't for lack of trying again. Give it 100%, managed to get in front of Leon, and I kept trying to glance that screen as I was going past because I couldn't see any pit boards. just to see what it was. But obviously, sitting behind Marty, try to get in front of him. But it's important for me to beat Leon. Obviously, keep scoring points as he's saying for the championship. We've got 4 races left, 100 points up for grabs. It's still all to play for. Big thank you to all my sponsors, Kafer, Tagisar, Ducati Glasgow, Car Masters of Glasgow, Knockhill Racing Circuit, everybody that helps out. A big thank you to all them, but also to the full P&H Motorcycles, Carl Cox team for doing a good, dominant job again.
Thanks, Dennis. Well done.
Cheers.
And the winner of that race and stepping up to the top step of the podium, as he did a couple of weeks ago at Alton Park, Marty Nutt. Marty, tell us about that battle with Dennis from your point of view.
Yeah, it was good. I just sort of took my time at the start, got everything working, and then felt pretty comfy and started to get a push on. Dennis made the pass in Leon, and I thought, do we getting past him here as well? So I think the following lap, or maybe a lap after, I done the same move because I knew it worked. Dennis done it yesterday as well, and it worked quite good. So I done the same, and then it just opened up. Dennis got per drive over the mountain, and that was my chance. So I was just then head down. It was like, am I pushing hard enough? Am I going too slow? What do I do? But no, we held it to the line. So no, I made up with that. So we are.
It's great to watch. Well done.
Yep. Thank you. Cheers.
That's it.
Off the line, the Ducati TriOptions Cup, race 2 of the weekend. Lightning fast start for Leon Morris, yesterday's race winner by a couple of tenths of a second from the man he beat and the man who's challenging him in the championship, Dennis Hobbs. Teammates, of course, on the blue and white Ducatis ahead of the reigning champion. Carl Stevens goes out grass tracking initially, which doesn't give his race the brightest of start, having finally scored his first points yesterday. Up the mountain in tricky conditions, of course, drizzly rain. It really wasn't the most comfortable of conditions out there. All 3 riders feeling their way round. Eventually, Dennis pulls a move that he'd been practicing for some time on the previous 2 or 3 laps. A lovely round the outside at Coppice and to the inside, cuts through to the inside over through Charlie's. And then he makes a mistake, loses drive up the mountain, and through comes Marty Nutt, wasting no time. The Irishman grabs the advantage, and he holds off Dennis right as they storm across the line and neck and neck into the final lap. So Hobbs, desperate to find a way through, then makes this big lunge as Neil Mackenzie had prophesied on the brakes down into Mansfield. Can't quite stop the Panigale quick enough, and Marty Nutt snatches back the advantage and then just rides a defensive line through Barn. Dennis gives it everything, but for Marty Nutt, it is his first win of the season for the reigning champ. Hobbs finishes second, Leon Morris settles for a comfortable 3rd place, but hats off to Marty Nutt, great ride. And Marty Nutt then enjoys the champagne. It's up on the box. Oh dear me. And it straight away gets slightly messy, because if you've been silly enough to win the 848 Cup there, then you find that you're on the receiving end of the big boy champagne.
I'm sure they don't mind, Jack. I'm sure they don't mind. Fantastic entertainment then, as usual, in the Ducati TriOptions Cup. But we had the closest finish of the season in any class yesterday in the Super Sport Sprint race. And the feature race is coming next. Don't miss it.